And this stuff is hot, like ridiculously hot, like hot, 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 hot. Hawaii has to be one of the best places I've ever traveled to in the world. And trust me, I've been everywhere. The post office, the mailbox, and then one time my mom let me ride my bike down to the end of the street. That was pretty cool. Honestly, Hawaii is one of my favorite places to visit. And every time I go, I get the coconut shrimp. It's so good and it's tradition. So I thought I would share that tradition with you with my version of fried coconut shrimp with mango habanero salsa. And I also wore a pretty sweet Hawaiian shirt. Okay, so first things first, shrimp is really good, but it cooks really quickly. So let's start with the mango habanero salsa. This is a mango, and you don't have to be a NASA scientist to get into one of these things. They have cheeks, just like me. Some are fatter than others. These seem to be really nice cheeks, so I like to cut the cheeks off, and you can kind of go right beside it, slice the cheek off, and then slice the other cheek off, and then in lies the pit or the pith, and then sometimes I like to suck on these. This part is pretty delicious. And then from here, what I like to do is just make some few slices like this, and then the other way, like a little dice, and then when you fold the mango out, you can just cut out perfect little dices of mango. Ready? Those are perfect chunks. And you want the chunks big because they're nice and sweet, they're full of juice and sugar, and when they cook down, it makes a really nice chutney. So let's do it one more time. Okay, sweet. So when you have it like this, you can just take your knife along and then cut out those big chunks. That's honestly the best way to get at the nice flesh of the mango. So the great thing about this chutney is everything can go in the pan at the same time, and then when you cook it down, the sweet juice releases from the mango, it mixes with vinegar, sugar, a little bit of onion and habanero, and you get a great texture. So the mango, the red onion is pretty easy, tip and top it, and I like to get a nice dice on it. You could use white onion if you want, but red onion, it's got a nice color, and it's a mild onion flavor, and it goes so good with mango and habanero. Really simple to cut it up. Awesome, so the onion can go in with the mango. And don't be shy, you want a lot of onion in there because it has a little natural sweetness and it gives it a nice savory kick. All right, you can't have a mango habanero chutney without habaneros. And this stuff is hot, like ridiculously hot, like hot, 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 hot. So don't use the seeds, and this is how I like to cut up the habanero. So take the top off, take the bottom off, get rid of that stuff. Hot. Hot, hot, hot. And then just roll the seed pocket out. It's pretty simple. You can open it up. You can see all the seeds in there. You don't want to get the seeds in there. I mean, if you want it violently hot, or if there's somebody coming over that you don't really like, throw it in there. But I think the flesh is just fine enough. And then you want to cut it up in small pieces because habanero can be quite tasty. It doesn't have to be super explosive and evasive. If you cut it up nice and small, a little sugar, mango, it's delicious. So chop it up, and then the habanero can go in with the onions and the mango. Habanero mango chutney. So we need some liquid in there to make the chutney. I love to use red wine vinegar. It's got a nice flavor, mixed with the mango and a little bit of sugar. It gives you a really nice texture and makes a perfect chutney. So to balance out the vinegar, heighten the sweetness of the mango, a little bit of sugar, and it kind of takes some of the sweetness down too. A couple touches of sugar. Awesome. And then this is a great part. Put it on, turn on the heat, let it cook away, and as it cooks, the sugar mixes with the vinegar and the natural sweetness of the mango and makes a really nice thick chutney. All right, so that cooks away. We can talk about shrimp. You can use a lot of different shrimps for this recipe, but I'm using these nice red shrimp. But the whole thing about coconut shrimp is if you coat it like that, there's too much coconut to shrimp and it'll burn before the shrimp's cooked. So I like to butterfly it, and that's just a fancy term for cutting it a little bit so it's flat. This is how I like to do it. A paring knife, get the shrimp on the board, and I just do a simple cut like that around, not all the way through, and you can open it up, press it down, and then that way it's not as thick as the prawn, and you get enough coating, and when you put it in the hot oil, the coconut doesn't burn, and you get perfectly cooked shrimp with a perfect coconut crispy coating on it. All right, I'm gonna do it for you one more time. So shrimp down, take the paring knife, just float around it, butterfly it, float like a butterfly, and sting like a bee. This is the Muhammad Ali of all fried coconut shrimp recipes. All right, a few to do, and we get to go frying. Yeah, you were first. There was no one else I wanted to see. There was nothing else I wanted to do. There was nowhere else I wanted to be than floating down that stream with you. All right, things are looking really nice and pretty easy, right? Butterfly the shrimp, mango habanero chutney, it's cooking away. Oh, look at it. It's getting really nice and thick, the natural sugars in the mango, plus a little extra sugar, vinegar, red onions, habanero. Smells spicy, smells sweet, great. All right, to bread these shrimp, super simple, classic breading station. But instead of naked panko, I'm gonna put a little bit of coconut in it. But here's a great tip. Don't buy sweetened coconut. The sugars in sweetened coconut, as soon as you put it in the hot oil, like to burn. So I buy the unsweetened stuff, plus that stuff's got a good kick of sweetness and a good kick of heat. So some panko breadcrumbs, or you could use regular breadcrumbs if you got that lying around, and then a good shot of coconut and just give it a mix. Oh, it smells great. You know what? A bit more coconut. All right, this is perfect. It's a nice blend. Almost 50-50 coconut to panko. You can smell it, and so it's easy. Flour, egg, panko. Forgot the flour, 1 second. Flour, egg, and then panko. Nothing fancy with the eggs. I keep it full egg white, full egg yolk. Ow. You know, that was a rock. The music's ringing in my ears. It goes Okay, this is pretty simple. What I like to do is put it in order, or else I'll forget. So flour, then egg, then coconut and panko. So check it out. This is what I like to do. Get the shrimp in the flour, nice and coated, pretty simple. Shake it off a little bit. And I like to leave the tails clean because when you fry them, they get crispy. It's really cool. And then into the egg. And then I like to open the butterfly up again and then really press it into the panko and the coconut. That's why I make lots of breading. You want a nice thick coating on there, and trust me, when that hits the fryer and starts to cook, it gets really nice and crispy. And because they're butterflied, the coconut doesn't burn, the prawns are perfectly cooked, and then you dip it into mango. How good could that be? All right, a few to do, and we get to go fry. This is gonna be fun. All right, let's fry some shrimp, shall we? So I've got some canola oil on at 350 degrees. Here's a good tip if you're gonna deep fry at home. Don't fill it all the way up to the top, only about halfway full, and then the oil won't spill over. And check out this mango habanero chutney. Because of the natural sugars in the mango and some extra sugar and vinegar and habanero and red onions, it's thick, it's sweet, it's chewy, it's chunky, and it's gonna go perfect with coconut shrimp. So this is what I like to do. When I start, to know that the oil's hot enough, if you don't have a thermometer, just put it in. If you see those little bubbles like that, you can throw in a shrimp. And here's another good tip. Don't put too many in at the same time. You'll overcrowd it, you'll lose heat in the oil, and it's just nice to do a few at a time. So be prepared to do like 4 or 5 at a time. Get them out, cook the shrimp. They look perfect. And because they're butterflied and the coconut's unsweetened, it's not gonna burn, and they're gonna be perfectly crispy and cooked on the center. You can smell coconut, it's really cool. Ready? Yep. Okay, so the thing about coconut shrimp, as soon as you fry them and they're hot and fresh, you want to eat them. But you can also bread them a day in advance, keep them in your fridge, and then set up the oil and then fry them if you got company coming over. But honestly, when they're fried, you want to serve them nice and hot. And they smell so good. They're super crispy and crunchy. And because they've been butterflied, the shrimp is cooked all the way through. The coconut hasn't burnt, and it's just the most beautiful coating of coconut and panko. It smells delicious. It reminds me of Hawaii. So get them on a platter, and then this is what I like to do. Take the mango habanero chutney, and I like to just dance it around the shrimp. And sometimes the onions hit it, you get a little habanero, you get that sweet pop of mango. It's nice and chewy and jammy. It smells delicious, and it's a great compliment for coconut shrimp. And man, does this remind me of being in Hawaii, except I'm not. But this is as close as you can come to being in paradise. All right, just a few things to finish it. Lime is a shrimp's best friend, especially when it's wearing a coconut dress. So I like to use just a bit of the peel, slap it down there, and it gives it a nice pop of citrus, and then a little bit of the juice too. It just wakens up the shrimp. Perfect, cut the cheek off, just a little bit of lime on top, and then you can finish it with some cilantro. I have some parsley, because that's what just happens to be lying around. A little bit of greenery on top of it, and that looks totally tropical. Check that out. Even with my shirt in the background, it screams Hawaii. Beautifully crispy, crusted coconut shrimp with mango habanero salsa and fresh lime. That screams the islands. Yeah, it's so good. The crispy coconut shrimp. And it's spicy as well. Well, that's a good thing. A little kiss of lime, it's just delicious. Make this for some people that you like to have around. So good. I want to talk into that.